Hey folks, I can't believe I have to say this again, but dollar bills as the portfolio hits all-time high, sitting over $330,000. We are going to be offering you some crazy transparency into the clarity of these holdings as we go through each individual account in this video. While also updating you on my crypto as I try and lead a horse to water, but obviously can't make it drink. But if you're Canadian, I'm going to show you how to get free Bitcoin. This isn't some crazy promotion. This is just something that's been ongoing for far too long, and I can't believe it works. So I'm hoping you guys will be able to take advantage of it. So help the YouTube algo gods and hit that like button, folks. So let's kick this off by looking at what was going on last week in the portfolio when it was sitting at 323,000. I have not updated my spreadsheet since then, so it's going to be easier just to kind of overview the actual accounts this week. So we might as well kick this off by first of all talking about Bitcoin itself. We saw Ethereum double here. It's just flying. Bitcoin's back over 50,000. My wallet looking pretty great here with 1/10 of a coin or just over that, being worth damn near $7,000. But that's not the fun part of crypto, and I know many people don't use this as a huge proponent to their portfolio, and neither do I, obviously. But if you want to get free Bitcoin as a Canadian, look, I can't believe this exists. I really can't. But there's a trading platform I use called ShakePay. It is a commission-free trading platform. You can e-transfer money into this thing as a Canadian, and it's fluent. It works. It is what it is. I don't leave the crypto on here. I transfer it to my wallet later. But they have a promo they don't advertise, and that is if you come in through a referral or you offer a referral, you get access to a program. I don't know what it's called. I think it's just called ShakePay or Shake Stats is what we can see here in the actual things that I've been shaking. Because every day you shake the phone, literally once a day, every day, it will give you free Bitcoin exponentially. It literally goes up for as long as you don't screw up your day over day pattern. My girlfriend is now almost a half a year deep, and she's making about 40 cents a day. If Bitcoin doubles, that's getting pretty close to $1, translating into maybe $300 a year in free Bitcoin, which in reality is the equivalent of having 10,000 invested at a 3% dividend yield. So look, I'm gonna leave my referral link down there, and then if you decide to buy Bitcoin, deposit $100, you get $10, I get $10. I know I'm getting promoted here, but I really just want you to understand that no matter who I tell this to, they think it's a scam. And we've been doing it forever. I'm at like 1479 since the last time I transferred it out. I don't know. Check it out. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. I mean, it's the definition of free Bitcoin, and I'm not joking. But anyways, taking a look at the TFSA, folks. This is where I did most of the moving around. As many of you recall, over the last month, I definitely did a lot of shifting, and it is proving to still be profitable for the portfolio, hitting all-time highs in the TFSA. And the only thing in the red so far is Algonquin Power, but that position was literally purchased within the last 2 or 3 weeks. So there's no green expected. I'm holding that for that yield, obviously. But where things get really incredible is my MPW, my Medical Properties Trust. I sold out of my crazy sin stocks that I know many people advocate toward, and yeah, the earnings are good for now, but I'll rather get in them once they prove some new businesses out. So I put it into Medical Properties Trust, a way more stabilized, long-term, sleep easy at night kind of REIT. I mean, it's a hospital REIT in the pandemic. How do you go wrong here, right? Anyways, it's finally seeing some green. I mean, we're sitting over $309 now. And then I also loaded up on the VOO, which I'm telling you guys is the path of least resistance. So I might as well not preach what I do not practice. So I did end up buying VOO in this account, moving a little bit more away from dividends, obviously, but I'm not done with the dividend path. Don't get me wrong. Let's talk about the two boringest accounts, and then we'll talk about the corporate account, because right now my managed account, everything is green in here. Keep in mind that if you're new to the channel, I had to transition these from a different account, and I lost my buy prices on them because really I was buying these for like half the price they're currently sitting at. So I'm green on everything in here, with Facebook just crushing it right now, waiting to see that thing get over, what are we at, almost $400 a share here, folks. We got to crack that. I think we hit 380 this week, down to 375. God, I love Facebook. Only company that I would truly feel comfortable if I could only buy one company. Oh, that one will make me sleep easy at night. So I also ended up moving some stuff in here. Many of you know I bought Clorox. Clorox crushed me this week. The last month since I've owned it. Not much going on with this sucker, but I still think it's trading at a cheap value. So we'll see how this does. This is a registered retirement savings plan, about $47,000, but still enough that it makes a difference. So we're holding a lot of those consumer staples still. So those are kind of like the primary personal brokerage accounts. But let's talk about the corporate account, my favorite account, my tax deferred income that gets invested and also continues to generate tax deferred income, which is absolutely wonderful. Getting a little hiccuped on some of the dollar exchanges, which is something I talk about. I'm not going to go in depth on obviously currency exchange, but let's just talk about the gains here, because on my Algonquin position in here, I'm actually in the green. I bought this position to cover my basic fees. The only thing I love about dividend stocks is just using enough of them or owning enough of them to make sure all the basic fundamental fees of a business can be paid for. And I'm not talking major fees, I'm talking accountant, obviously brokerage fees, bank account fees, etc. So I'm glad that I've got a nice little chunk in here, and that's going to really help fill some bills, because I'll make $450 odd annually off this Algonquin power position. I love my utilities, boring as hell, love them though for that cash. Taking a look at the stocks that I love, because I primarily want to make my corporate account a growth account, because the purpose of my business is to grow and do everything I can to maximize the dollar, not necessarily pay myself. I want to try and keep all the money in the corporation continually doing its thing. So I would focus rather on growth than using my personal brokerages, which focuses more on income to use as a backup reserve, which became very useful in March of 2020. And I know yesterday in my video, I was hounding people about focusing too heavily on dividend stocks, but for me, again, circumstance based, I need to make sure I have some form of reliable income, because I do not have I am all pretty much self-employed income, right? There's a lot of risk with my job, as I'm sure many of you are aware. So in this account, I just want to do as much growth as possible. And right now I've really honed in on Tesla, Google, and Facebook, proving to be very fruitful even in the near term, as these positions equate to being up 11.6%. And that is making some real money. I mean, that's 3,500 US dollars, exactly what I want to see. So in this account, we're going to be seeing the most activity in the coming weeks, in the coming last quarter of the year, because this is just where most of my money for the time being will be funneled. I will not be having a lot of personal income to utilize my personal brokerage accounts as much anymore, but I think this is going to be where the most fun for you guys is going to be. And most of my positions looking forward to, I mean, I've been talking about adding Amazon. I've been talking maybe just about adding back the QQQ position, because I mean, we're still in this crazy growth vector, and for as long as we're in this growth vector, I'd much like to be a part of it. So I'm going to keep trying to capture these AI companies, and you guys will always get updates here as well. And who knows, maybe I've been working with some small caps, and usually I don't try and buy some of the companies that sponsor the channel or I work with for promotions, just to avoid any SEC problems that could come down the road. But it's hard not to want to, because when you kind of get so involved with these companies personally, you start seeing some real value in some of the small caps, especially in commodities right now. There's a lot of value out there, and I mean, a lot of channels talk about that, and I would still maybe perhaps like to get some of that, what could be potential doubling growth in a shorter time period. But you guys have to stick around, so consider subscribing and floating around for future content, because like I said, we're living in some pretty fabulous times, and damn, from where this channel started when I was selling all of my gold to where it is now has been a journey, and I'm glad you've been a part of it. So stay cool, stay awesome. And if you want to join me later tonight, go over to the Passive Income Educator, where we do our live streams every Friday at 10 p.m.